Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are completely deconstructing everything we're traditionally taught about relationships and loyalty. Look, if you've ever looked at a seemingly perfect couple and wondered why they suddenly just fell apart out of nowhere, you are definitely in the right place. We're going to dive into a really fascinating breakdown of relationship dynamics, strip away all the guesswork, and look at the hard, rarely discussed truths behind what actually keeps people together.
I mean, think about it. If looks, money, and status are the ultimate keys to loyalty, why on earth do billionaires still get left? It highlights a massive flaw in the traditional dating script we've all been fed. We're told over and over that if you just provide enough affection, enough attention, wealth, or status, you'll lock a partner down forever. But time and time again, we literally see men at the absolute highest levels of society, celebrities, athletes, billionaires, still get left and replaced. So why is that? Well, that's exactly what we're answering today.
All right, here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We're hitting 5 key areas: the female loyalty myth, the real reason women stay, the wealth illusion, the stability hierarchy, and finally, your 3-step action plan. Let's get right into it.
Starting off with Part 1, the female loyalty myth.
So, we need to establish something crucial right off the bat. There is a huge fundamental difference between things that attract and things that keep. Love, looks, money, and status, those are incredible attractors. They will absolutely get you noticed, no question. But according to the source material, they fundamentally do not create long-term loyalty. Love is a feeling, right? It shifts, it changes, and it definitely fades under stress. Think about it, if love alone kept people together, divorce literally wouldn't exist. People wouldn't just walk away from partners they used to call their soulmates.
The source material nails it with this quote: "Looks might open the door, but they don't hold it shut." It's so true. Even the most conventionally attractive guys on the planet still experience betrayal, and money and status operate the exact same way. They might get you in the door, sure, but they don't make up for what's missing on the inside. They attract, but they absolutely do not guarantee loyalty.
Moving on to Part 2, the real reason women stay. All right, let's look at the actual science here. Psychologists refer to this really fascinating concept as attachment security. Basically, at her core, a woman is biologically and psychologically wired to attach herself to the safest, most emotionally grounding option available. Decades of research back this up, confirming that women form much deeper emotional bonds with partners who make them feel safe and certain about the future emotionally. Historically, this wasn't just some nice preference, it was a matter of literal survival for women and their kids. Attaching to a chaotic or unstable partner was straight up dangerous.
It all boils down to this one simple truth. Stability equals survival. The instinct for stability is just hardwired into female psychology. And honestly, this explains the dynamic that confuses so many guys. It's the exact reason why a woman might cheat on or leave a super wealthy guy who makes her feel chronically anxious, but will stay fiercely loyal to a partner with way less money who consistently gives her emotional peace.
Which brings us to Part 3, the wealth illusion.
Okay, this is a massive paradigm shift. Time does not equal loyalty. When we see a woman stay with a famous or wealthy guy for 10, 20, maybe even 30 years, we just assume, oh, it's because he provides luxury, so she's loyal. But we actually have to separate time from loyalty here. Sometimes a partner stays simply because they feel totally trapped in a specific lifestyle, or because the sheer chaos of leaving just feels way worse than the instability of staying put. Because what the public doesn't see is the reality behind closed doors. The source points out that these high-profile setups are often just fraught with intense power struggles, silent treatments, and absolute emotional chaos where their public image is prioritized over the actual truth. A really wealthy guy might provide incredible financial security, but simultaneously destroy his partner's emotional stability. And when that emotional stability disappears, women instinctively search for it elsewhere. That's why you sometimes see affairs with people like personal trainers or assistants. They simply offer the grounding and peace that the wealthy partner doesn't. A massive mansion means absolutely nothing if the life inside it feels totally unstable. Let's dive into the core framework in Part 4, the stability hierarchy. Think of building stability exactly like building a house. It has to happen in a very specific order. Step 1 is your emotional stability. That's the foundation. Step 2 is directional stability. Those are the walls. And Step 3 is financial stability, which is the roof. You absolutely cannot build the roof without a foundation. Let's break these down one by one, because this is super important.
Let's look at the foundation first, emotional stability. The source material calls this the non-negotiable foundation. A partner will never truly trust a man who is emotionally volatile. If your moods are all over the place, if you're highly reactive, or if you just break easily under pressure, the entire structure collapses, no matter what else you bring to the table. A guy who lacks emotional reliability is exactly like a house with no foundation. It really doesn't matter how beautiful it looks on the outside, it is eventually going to crumble.
Okay, so once that solid foundation is poured, you build the walls. This is your directional stability. This is all about having vision, having purpose, and having some certainty about the future. Even if you aren't wealthy yet, having a clear direction and knowing exactly where you are going makes a partner feel so secure in following your lead. It shows that life with you is actually moving forward, not just falling apart.
And finally, we put the roof on, financial stability. Now notice here, the source doesn't define this as having immense private jet wealth, but rather as consistency. It means the structure actually exists, the bills get paid, and basic survival isn't a terrifying daily question. It completes the house and makes her feel secure in her physical survival.
But what happens if you try to skip a step? Look, financial stability without emotional stability is literally worthless. It is the exact equivalent of trying to suspend a heavy roof in midair with absolutely no foundation beneath it. If she feels unsafe emotionally, all the financial benefits in the world are not going to keep her loyal. The foundation absolutely has to come first.
All right, let's wrap this up with part 5, your 3-step action plan.
The source material distills all this theory into 3 super actionable steps. Number 1, prioritize self-control. That's your foundation right there. When life gets incredibly messy, you have to master your own reactions. You need to be the reliable center when everything else feels shaky. Number 2, add structure. You don't have to be rich, but you do have to be in control of your life. Keep your physical space in order, pay your bills on time, and just handle your responsibilities. And number 3, lead with vision. You don't need to have every single tiny detail of your entire life figured out, but you must have goals and move with some certainty. When a partner sees you actively building towards something, they feel safe.
Because ultimately, it really comes down to this one idea. A woman will leave a man she loves for a man she respects. Remember earlier when we said love just isn't enough to hold the door shut? This is exactly why. Respect is rooted entirely in emotional stability. It's why the quote-unquote perfect guy on paper, the one who provides everything materially but completely lacks emotional grounding, still gets left. The care might genuinely be there, but if the stability disappears, that primal instinct to seek it elsewhere is just going to take over.
So, I want you to take a hard look at your own life right now. Are you building a house that can actually weather the storm, or one that's going to completely collapse the second it's under pressure? Loyalty isn't about perfectly styled hair or having a massive bank account. It is about being the absolute most stable option in the room. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and take some time to evaluate your own stability hierarchy today.